All right, so today we're going to show you how we keep everything looking just like this all the way through an Arizona summer. That's coming up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with As You Know Where Farm, and we're coming to you here today. It's actually Labor Day 2018, and you know what? It is early in the morning. Sun's just coming up, so we're super early. We had a really good monsoon last night, so we figured, you know what? This is the perfect time to be talking about what we're doing this time of year, which is fertilizing. So as I said in the intro, what we're gonna really be talking about more today than anything is not this, although I did want to give you an update on this, but we're gonna be talking about a couple different ways or a couple different things that we use to fertilize our fruit trees, and we do use specific things for specific types of trees. We'll talk more about that today. But what I wanted to talk more about here is this is actually our finished pig manure. So I'm going to link our video here where we first talked about what we were using in the spring to fertilize our fruit trees, and this was it. So this is actually the finished version, and I'm putting my hands in poop. We're going to talk about a lot about poop today. Oh my goodness, you guys. So all this is finished pig manure with wood chips. So the only thing that's in here is pig manure and wood chips, nothing else. So we've been keeping it wet, keeping it covered with a tarp all summer long, so it stays nice and damp. And man, this is just amazing soil. So, you know, because it is real hard or coarse wood chips, there's still a lot of pieces of wood in here, chunks of wood, but it is finished. So obviously this is not something you would put into the ground inside your vegetable garden bed, but for our purposes with our garden, with our fruit trees, you know, we have wood chips on the ground. So this is going to be going into the wood chips, continuing to compost down, and it's going to soak down into the ground and really do a great job of fertilizing our trees. But pig manure is not what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about a different type of animal manure, and that's chicken. So I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so this is actually what we're going to be talking more about today. So this right here is completely unfinished, uncured chicken manure. So there's a little bit of pine shavings in here because we do take these from our laying hen's coop, but for the most part this is actually manure. We got a couple different piles that we've been actually accumulating here over the summertime. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilizing this fertilizer for our citrus trees. So we've got, I think it's about 14 different citrus trees, 13 different varieties of citrus here on the farm, and we're going to be actually be using our chicken manure for those trees. Now here's why. So we're here in the fall. It's Labor Day, like I said before, so we're doing our last fertilizing of 2018. So the major difference between our citrus trees and the rest of our trees is our citrus trees keep all of their green throughout the wintertime. So they need a lot of nitrogen and continuous nitrogen through our fall, which we get a lot of growth in the fall. So through the fall into winter to maintain their leaves. So that's really what we're going to concentrate on today and show you what we're going to be doing to utilize this for our citrus trees. So you'll hear the girls cackling in the background today. Forgive us for that, but they're excited to see us down here too. So a couple other things too real quick before we get to that work, because Laura and I are going to show you that. Materials and tools that we're going to be using today: wheelbarrow, shovel, basic things like that. Like I always tell you guys, when we're working with manure, it doesn't matter what kind of manure it is. So whether you're talking about your vegetable scraps or you're talking about manure, you know, wear some protective gear. You want to wear something to cover your hands, so gloves. I always wear a mask because we're digging in wood chips, stirring up mold and all kinds of other stuff, which I'm pretty sensitive to. So I always wear a mask to make sure that I'm keeping as much of that out of my lungs as I can, so we stay safe. But let's kind of show you more detail how we're going to put this on our trees. Okay, so we're standing in front of a tree that you're going to recognize. We've actually done a couple videos on this tree. This is our dwarf lime tree behind me here. So we've had this tree in the ground for almost 4 years. It's actually the very first tree that we put in the ground. It is a dwarf variety, so hard to imagine, but it is. It's bear's lime. So it's a great tree. It's got an amazing amount of fruit on it again this year, but obviously the way we keep it this way is fertilizing. So I am going to give you one quick disclosure. Lori and I, super busy this spring, we actually did not fertilize like we we should have back in May. So this tree actually hasn't been fertilized since February. I'll tell you what, one of the big testaments that I give that to would be our wood chips. So wood chips, when they're on the ground and being watered, is they break down and they create fertilizer. So we've got, a lot of bug activity down there. We see red wiggling worms down there all the time. So those continue to break down that organic matter and turn it into compost. So it does create its own compost, but we need to give it a nice big boost before we go into winter, especially since we skipped. We feel kind of bad about that, but it happens. We got busy and we didn't do it. So now we're here in the fall and we're gonna go ahead and fertilize this tree. So what you see in front of me here would be unfinished chicken manure. There's a few other things in there because of course we do feed some of the farm scraps to the chickens as well. So if we've got greenery that we know they're gonna like, it's in there for them to eat along with the feed that we feed them. But for the most part, this is predominantly chicken manure, completely uncomposted and raw. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple of shovelfuls full of this and put it around our 3 emitters. And we utilize those emitters for our fertilizing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the raw chicken manure, put them around those 3 emitters, and let those emitters continuously break these down along with the wood chips throughout the wintertime to continually fertilize our citrus trees, which I'm surrounded by. So we're going to go ahead and show you how we do that. You've seen this before, but I'm going to show you, so we're just going to kind of walk you through it. Always keep on a mask because this is raw. We do not want this stuff getting up into my lungs. Not sure whether you can hear me or not, but what I'm going to do is have Lori follow me around. So I'm just going to take a small scoop of this. It doesn't take much because this stuff is strong. So I'm going to take about that. You can see I got sticks and other kinds of stuff in here. Have Lori follow me around. Won't need the sunglasses back here, I can see. So you can see one of our emitters here. We keep these rocks around the emitters so that we can actually find the emitters. Lots of leaf litter down here, lots of wood chips. So we got a lot of things breaking down. We're gonna add this raw manure to it to fertilize. It just goes around the tree there, and all we do is just kind of rub it in. So that's done there. I put my rock back so we have our placement. You can see the emitter here. So that emitter is going to pour right onto it. And that's it. So what we do is we go through, we do this with every tree. And as you guys know, we talk about it all the time. We got over 100 fruit trees here on the farm, so Lori and I have a lot of work to do, but that's exactly what we do. So we're gonna use this chicken manure on all of our citrus trees here, and I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of a couple other trees, one of them that you'll recognize here at the outro. When we're done with the video, we'll kind of pan through, kind of take a peek at some of our citrus, the citrus portion of our orchard, but that's what we do to keep these green during the wintertime. So just want to thank everyone for joining us today. You know what, if you haven't done so already, hey, subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. We talk a lot about things here on the channel. We've got a lot of things going on in the fall. We got our fertilizing we talked about today on all of our fruit trees. I got a lot of fruit trees we're going to be fertilizing today going into the fall season. A lot of growth still. We got livestock coming back onto the farm. Already got our new laying hens in. We got meat chickens coming here in another week or two. So it's really starting to heat up for us, getting busy. We'd really love it if you would join us. And hey, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. We really love interacting with you guys, and this YouTube format is a great way to do that. Love to do that with you. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. The major difference between our citrus trees and you'll hear the girls screaming in the background probably. Sun's coming up. Time to get to work. And what we do is we utilize those emitters for our composting. So we take, or for our fertilizing. For our fertilizing with our composting. Do over, man, it's early. Okay, let's try this again. So one of the things that we do with those 4 3-gallon, I should have had my coffee first.